Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. It's one of my replays, and I'm in a Z-52, a tier 10 German destroyer. I'm on the map Haven, 4-point domination game, there is no carrier, everyone's tier 10, and there are a few raiders around, the Puerto Rico, the Moskva, and the Stalingrad. So there are also 4 destroyers per team. Now I and myself spawned in the center. The Shimakaze has abandoned the B camp, the Cent has abandoned the C camp, and well, I and myself we have taken B so far. Now, to be fair though, there are a lot of raiders there, and there's a droid which is well, a scary gunboat in a sense. So of course the set is sort of right to be a bit careful here, although he never really even tried. Anyway, I'm gonna go and try to take that camp now. Of course, with the raiders, we have to be careful. Now, the Puerto Rico, the other raider here, is on the 1-2 line, and they have taken out our Shimakaze. Which, it's a bit of a shame. Now, here is the droid. It looks like the enemy destroyers have gotten a little bit, careless. That droid is pretty dead here. And now the Shimakaze is pretty dead too, because it's inside my Hydro. And it's in front of a Smolensk. Well, and myself and Viper, so... let's be honest, the Smolensk does the main damage here. So I'm not sure why those 2 destroyers decided to just push in. I guess they got a little bit overconfident. Like, but the Shima didn't even try to smoke up, so didn't it have a smoke ready? So our team does not have a radar. So the enemy destroyers were in, I guess, a pretty good situation, not facing a radar, not facing a carrier. They took that cap unopposed, and I suppose for some reason they were then just, well, let's just charge straight into the enemy lines and nothing could go wrong. Now, speaking of things going wrong, I'm inside 2 raiders, and one of them is even a longer duration like the Moskva, so this is questionable in some ways, but the reason why I'm doing this is both of those raiders are behind an island and can shoot me. The battleships are behind islands and can shoot me. Obviously the Colombo and the Yamato are moving, so they might soon be in a position to do something, and then there is the Holland. But it's basically 2 battleships that are not that close, and a Holland. And yes, Viper is very shiny here. So if they raid me right now, I'm fairly confident of just running away and surviving. Now, not that they did actually raid me, I guess they were busy with other stuff, and now they're busy eating fish, which is nice. And of course, this is where I expect the raider. Usually, raider ships, once you torpedo them, they start to actually realize that there's a destroyer around. Like, strange enough, if you do other stuff in front of them, like take a cap, a lot of raider ships, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there are always these raider ships that they don't care. And only the moment that they eat fish, they're like, oh, wait a minute, I have this raider bug. Now, I do have this island though, and this island beats the raider button for now. So this is nice. The Stalingrad is almost dead. Of course, there are 2 of them. Which means there might just be more. Wait, the Stalingrad is still alive. So there is 2 of them, right? But there is... I mean... There's a reasonable chance that they aren't coordinating the raiders. Now this Stalingrad is almost dead. And it's coming this way. Now I'm just gonna torpedo it, hopefully. It can't see me, there is no Hydro. No, Smolensk, that's mine, that's my Stalingrad. There you go. Okay then. So, this is going surprisingly well. You know, the enemy team had all of the tools with, like, the raiders, but, like, the Puerto Rico, that I think is no longer floating, decided to be as far away from where it could be useful as possible. And those cruisers, they I guess they also didn't care about taking this camp zone. They might have been a bit too aggressive there. Now, Moskva's still around. Moskva might still raid it. There is somebody taking the cap, and that's most likely the Holland. There also is a Marseille coming. So let's torpedo a little bit this way. Now, my RPF is checking the Moskva, so I have no idea where inside the cap the Holland is, and I'm being hydroed. It was a little bit careless on my part, and the Holland seems to be over there. So I thought the Holland might be on the other side of this island. And that it just like is touching the cap around here somewhere, so I came more in this direction. But it appears the Holland was elsewhere. And I got myself briefly hydroed, now the Holland left. Now this is where things could get dicey, right? Because once again the Moskva could just radar me, and then the Marseille could foul. The Marseille could also charge me with hydro. Now this Moskva is dead, so one of those things is not going to happen. Now here is the Holland. And once again I do have Smolensk behind me. And that's going to make all the difference, isn't it? Because this Holland is basically dead. The Marseille here, did it like reach itself or something? The Marseille has decided to... It very nearly almost was in hydro range, and then it decided it's just gonna leave. It's not worth the trouble. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the side wasn't ready. Maybe it ran out. But it pushed into the point where it was all like just a little bit away from being a friend. And then it reversed. I mean, it's also possible that it thought I had left my smoke screen, or it was getting too risky and it was trying to get out. But it was a little bit too late for this retreat, I guess. I mean, speaking of late, it's a bit too late for this entire enemy team. At least they still have the battleships watching from the back. So, yeah, this seems to be working quite nicely. It's very unlikely that the enemy still does something. So basically what the enemy's problem was, they had their raiders, but they didn't make much use of them. Their destroyers just YOLO'd in because they got overly excited about there not being radar and then just got taken out. And their remaining forces are just way too passive to be of any use. Like if those battleships would have supported their cruisers there making a push, might have gone differently. So I probably should have just gone straight for A. There is more stuff to torpedo there, and I was a bit late here for B anyway. I wasn't needed to help camp this. But now we're gonna go and engage this Vincent most likely. So I have a smoke ready soon. There is no more... Well, there's a Yoshino, so technically there's some hydro remaining, also some torps, but Yoshino isn't that... I mean, getting torped by Yoshino would be somewhat embarrassing, I guess. Being torped by a Vincent would be even more embarrassing. Now, this Vincent is actually getting closer. And my concealment isn't that good, but my smoke should be ready just about at the right time. I kind of also want to get into the cap, so... Yeah, I mean, reasonably smoke timing. And now I can just creep forward into the cap. The problem is I don't have a hydro, and it didn't shoot, so I can't see. Now, once it passes here through this passage, though, yeah, it's going to be detected by my golden lion. And it's eating a fish. Now, it's a Vincent, it might be super... It is super healing. So, well, at least the super heal is on cooldown afterwards. And there is that... Yeah, as I said, like, being torped by a Vincent would be rather embarrassing, wouldn't it? Now, I could wait a bit longer. It's almost in... Proximity range here. I could have tried to get more torpedoes in here, because my torps don't hit that hard. That's not quite enough. But I basically... Problem is, Vincent hits really hard with its high explosive. So I wanted to say, oh no, 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 no. I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that. Well, as I said, it would have been embarrassing. So yeah, I mean, I talked a bit early there against the Vincent, but its high explosive is relatively scary, so I needed to do much damage to it soon. Also, in the end of... nothing really mattered, right? This is a win, no matter what. So, this was a pretty weird one. I felt it was fun, like how the destroyers just YOLO'd in and died, and then the raiders tried to push and got taken out. And I mean, it also showed that despite the enemy basically winning in the matchmaking regards, right, with having 3 raiders, if they aren't used properly, I guess they're pretty pointless. So, yeah, and also I guess the enemy team had the problem of, like, once again, 2 passive battleships combined with maybe slightly too aggressive cruisers. Destroyers just YOLOing in, and it was a bit of a mess, wasn't it? Anyway, hope you had some fun, and I'll see you next time.